Will our gardens live or die? There are 7 reasons why our gardens may be dying. Let's take a closer look. Why do we want to have a garden? The answer to that question is vitally important to the life and longevity of our gardens. Because when life happens, and it does, and our desires and ambition is challenged to keep up with our gardens, it could cause it to dwindle and die. Number 1, our gardens could die if we lose our desire and ambition for it. It would be helpful to establish the number 1 reason why we want to have our gardens in the first place. Then that reason will serve as our foundation. When challenging things happen, and they will, we're to focus on our foundation. The reason why we put time, money, effort, labor into our gardens. Personally, my number 1 reason to have a garden is to be able to grow some of my own food as though my life depends upon it. Once we have established why we want to have a garden, let's take a look at some other situations that would cause our garden to die. The second reason why our gardens could die if they are underwatered. Water is a fountain of life for our gardens. Our plants becoming dehydrated long enough can definitely cause them to die. And sometimes they cannot be revived. We can offset this by making sure our gardens are well hydrated by being on a schedule. Installing an automatic watering system with a timer will save us time and help save our gardens. Adding compost and top dress with the mulch season after season will also help the soil to retain moisture better and longer as well. Number 3, our gardens can die if we overwater. Overwatering seriously restrains and cuts off the supply of oxygen that our roots rely upon to grow. It can cause our roots to rot and die. We should always be monitoring the conditions of our garden soil. If it looks dry, check your soil about 1 inch or 2 deep and see if there's any moisture. See, this is kind of dry, so I need to make adjustments. Also, we need to remember that water requirements from plant will differ from plant to plant. Number 4, our gardens can die if they're underfed. Our gardens need food. If we work on feeding our soil, then our soil will feed our plants. We should always be trying to improve and increase the microbiology of our soil, because once we have created a living, healthy soil, our plants are going to thrive. It's the microorganisms in the soil and their complex relationships with each other that makes nutrients available to our plants' growth. Just a few ways that we can feed our soil is with compost, aged manure, worm castings, and cover crops, just to name a few. Number 5, our gardens can die if they're not maintained. Our gardens need to be pruned every now and then. Dead foliage, dead blooms, withered leaves, and grass, all that needs to be pruned out. Number 6, our gardens can die from uncontrolled pest pressure. We must keep an eye out for the bad insects that are attacking and destroying our crops, trying to catch it early on before it gets out of control. There are lots of organic products that we can choose from without exposing our garden to toxic chemicals. Spinosad is just one of many products. Number 7, our gardens can die if our environment becomes harsh. Each and every plant has a different light and temperature requirement. If it gets too hot or too cold on some plants, they can die. Having row covers to protect from the cold and a shade cloth to protect from the heat could save our gardens. Each plant has different light and temperature requirements. Having different types of coverings on hand ahead of time will be a beneficial investment in our gardens when the weather is at extremes. If you have found value in this video, it's important that you subscribe and hit the like button, share, and leave a comment. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.